Well, I've got this engine laid down. Going to take the pressure plate and flywheel off, take the oil pan off, and start looking. I have a bad suspicion that it's leaking right here, but I'm not sure. There's an awful lot of oil on this thing for, you know, no real reason. I mean, it's in places I wouldn't think it should be. You'd almost think there was a hole in the oil pan or something up here, but I don't think there is. But anyway, I'm not going to film all that because it's just, you know, taking stuff apart. Might put it on time lapse, I guess. But anyway, I'll bring you back in a little bit. Huh. Yeah, gotta drive them locks off. I forgot about that. Anyway. Okay. It's not leaking at all around here. It's all something right here. So I'm going to leave the actual aluminum piece on the back of the block. I'm going to take the oil pan off. And I'm going to take this block out right here, this little block. I think that's where my trouble is. There's an aluminum filler block right there. I'm going to try to disturb that and not disturb this. We'll see. It's one of those things, who knows. Well, we got this thing all apart. And this is kind of an embarrassing moment, really. I hate to say it, but this stuff is sealed all the way to the bottom, all the way to the top with silicone, like I had it, because I packed these full of silicone. And there's no sign of any leaks here. So as near as I can figure, that oil, I can see it's dark right here and right over here. I guess that oil ran down and came onto them bolts from when I was frigging with the overhead. That's pretty bad to take that all apart just to find that out. But I got to look at it one more time anyway. And yeah, everything looks pretty clean. So pretty happy about that. And yeah, I'm going to clean this off. I'm not going to show that. And I'm going to reassemble, and it's just straight bolting in. I'm going to put it together the same as I did before with the silicone on those corners. I like that better than the felts, because the felts will always weep. But yeah, kind of disappointing in myself there that I didn't pick that up. Yesterday I was gonna take some brake cleaning, clean the back of the oil pan off, and then put it together and start it. But I'd have to put the fuel tanks on, and have to put the radiator back onto it. And there's a whole bunch of crap I'd have to put onto it to start it and run it long enough to see where that oil was coming from. And I didn't want to do it. I took a gamble that it was a problem with that rear main, which they're notorious for being troublesome. And anyway, yeah, that one bit me. So anyway, I'm going to put this back together, and when I see you next time, it'll be closed up, because it's just straightforward. If you want to see how I did it, I think you can probably find it in one of the old videos when I put the oil pan on. But anyway, yeah, kind of disappointing. But I'm going to have this thing back on the tractor here today, and we're going to go forward. Well, a quick update. In an hour and a half, I've got the pan all washed, everything scraped, put back on, and I made 2 new locks. Actually got quite a lot done in a short bit of time here. And now I'm going to put the pressure plate back on. I did torque this. I only went to 45 pounds because it's a 3/8 bolt. So they might supposed to go to 50. It really doesn't matter. As long as you've got stretch pulled into the bolt, it'll be fine. It's doweled and everything. So yeah, I'm going to continue going. Putting the pressure plates, nothing. I'm going to line it up by eye because I don't have a pilot shaft. It's really the only practical way to do it. So anyway, I'll bring you back in a little bit. Okay, we got this all stacked back together, and it's snug. It's not tight. So I got probably a good 1/8 of an inch, maybe a little more. But you look down the spline, the top spline right here is lined up with the inside of the bushing. The bottom one is lined up with the outside of the bushing. And as far as right to left, it's pretty close for now. So what you do is just go in here on the bottom, and we'll lift it up a little bit, just a touch, about a 1/16, I think. And it kind of moves sideways a little. Of course, I probably don't have all the bolts even, which makes things not move 100% the way you want them to sometimes. Yeah, I must have a tight one right here. But I'm gaining. So, of course, I got grease in there now from having it already installed once. But I think I can, I get this. It's pretty darn close. Oop, that moved further than I wanted. Yeah, I'm going to quit right there. It's just an eyeball thing. And, with the grease in there that I've got now, it's hard to see the crispness of the lines. There's a chance I might have to pull it back off, but boy, 90% of the time, you can just eyeball stuff and it will go in. I am high just a skosh. I'm going to call it good. We'll tighten her up. Now, a little helpful thing there. A lot of people don't use dowels, but I'm kind of partial to them. Seems like you stave up a lot less. This one here's got a long thread in it, so it won't go in all the way, but just go in like that. Saves you a lot of aggravation, because you can actually, the load is supported on here on the back, and you can tell by whether or not you're further or closer, whether or not you have to go up. A lot of times you try to go on up and it picks the whole thing up, but it won't line it up. But if you got 2 long dowels, it'll line itself up so much easier. These are just junk ones that the heads have got frigged up on them, from using impacts or whatever. And when they do, I cut them off. I've got a few 5/8, 3/8. I've got several different sizes, and they're worth their weight in gold. And they're inexpensive, because you just make them out of junk. Now, yeah, it does help if I turn the camera on. Yeah, let's see here. Am I high or low? And looks like it's about right on. Let's see. Boy, it still looks good. We're not back to the clutch yet, because That felt good right there. Felt like the splines lined up, or trying to. Okay, the splines are started in. So now it's just a matter of actually getting the pilot bushing to line up, which might just have to be shook a little. Oh, I guess we're up to the dowel pins now, so it may actually have to be drawn in. Because those dowel pins are tight. Yeah, it's actually hitting on those. And I had to pry them off, so. Anyway, I'm gonna, I think we're in. I'll put the bolts to it and we'll see. Well, I put a few longer bolts in here just to be able to try it. There's no resistance at all. There she goes. That, yeah, I don't even know why I'm putting that one in, because that's supposed to be a short bolt. But now that it's started on the dowel pins, give it another little wiggle. And maybe one little bit of a jack. I don't know if I said in the last time you put this motor in, I've only ever had one time in my life that I lined up one of those clutch plates by eye that it didn't go in. I had to take it out one time and redo it because my eyes was off a little bit that day. But yeah, you don't need the pilot shaft if you got good eyesight at all. When you're dealing with a double clutch, that's another story, you know. But anyway, I gotta go tighten up the other side. I'm not gonna video it. I'll bring you back in a little bit. Well, we got the front pedestal off the front bolster. I just wanted to show you, this is what we're trying to correct. It slops back and forth a good 1/16 of an inch. And there's probably a 1/4 of a turn of play. So I'm gonna start here. I'm gonna drain the oil out of it, which is on this other side, and flip it over, take the bottom row of bolts off and pull that main gear, sector gear out, and then we'll take this gear here out. It's really pretty self-explanatory. It's absolutely amazing when you don't check the oil on stuff, how long it will run with no oil. Not even a teaspoon. That's probably why it don't run down the front pedestal anymore. But anyway, yeah, so guess we don't have to worry about that. I guess just got to take it apart. It's gonna be an easy one. Well, this bearing here is like new. I mean, it is smoother than silk. The bottom one I'm sure is, because the bottom one would have had all the oil. And that seal on the bottom needs to be replaced, which I'll get to here. Did have some oil in it, but it wasn't enough to drain. I was going to show you there too, that gear has no wear in it at all. This one here looks like brand new. I don't know if you can hear this. That bearing there is shot, but I have a new one. Not sure if I'm going to have to change that bushing or not. I did order one through Steiner. Hopefully it fits. And I've got that seal. I got to check and see if I got that bottom seal there. I think I did buy it, but I got to look around. I'll be back in a minute. So I do have the replacement part for that seal there. I didn't get any of the bearings, but like I say, these bearings, if the bottom is anywhere near as good as the top, we got it made. So I'm not going to film it. I got a whole bunch of cleaning to do, and when I get ready to put it back together, that will be the next video. So I'm going to call it good on this video. Nothing really exciting, but we're gaining on this front pedestal. You know, there's not as much to this as what I thought there would be. It's a lot easier than a John Deere with that great big long shaft runs up through the front. So yeah, pretty good design. I don't think there's any way, no, there's no, no, I know there isn't. There's no way to clock this like the John Deere's. They got them so you can clock them to get the sector the gear together closer, but I don't see that on this. I got to go on up and read. There may be some way to do it, but I don't think so. Unless this here clocks, but it's got a stop on it. So I don't believe that they would clock it that way, unless this can come on, off, and be put on any way of 4 ways. I'm not sure what this has in it. You know, there's always options when people design stuff. So anyway, we'll find out when we go to put it together. I'll yeah, talk to you on the next one, and don't hesitate to hit the like button and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one. Take care, everybody.